You may hear that towns with large expat populations or white sand beaches have higher prices. Indeed, both cause inflation. It is also true that creative bargain hunters find affordable ways to live almost anywhere. We've been on the lookout for a quiet, safe beach town in the Philippines. A beach town with just enough expats to create a soft landing, but without white sand beaches that causes a parade of arriving expats and higher prices. We had been hearing about a quiet, safe beach town in the Philippines for over a year, so we decided to investigate. I generally recommend soft landings for new expats. A soft landing happens when you move overseas to an area that has at least some expats. A small community of expats who have lived in the area for a few years will help you learn where to eat, shop, and entertain yourself. That's why I call it a soft landing. But you should also form friendships with locals because they will teach you about the customs and traditions of your new country, which will help you integrate more fully. Locals can also teach you how to live affordably. Most expats can't. So when we left Boracay in the Philippines, we decided to investigate a quiet, safe beach town called Roxas City. We really enjoyed our time here, and we would recommend it as a place to investigate retiring in the Philippines. Indeed, it provides a soft landing of helpful expats from Canada, USA, UK, and the Maldives. But the black sand does not attract as many expats, so the prices have remained reasonable. As I tell you about Roxas, I'll show you the video we took with our feet on the ground here in 2025. There's no AI gathered data or video in this report. This is 100% our work. Be careful of people recommending places they've never been to. My name is Dan. I left the United States in 2007, and I've lived in or visited 73 countries over the last 18 years. I have 291 written reports teaching people how to retire early overseas or slow travel the world for cheap. I share our favorite markets, restaurants, and things to do. Each report also provides a line item estimate of the basic cost of living for both low and middle range expats. I also report what I learned about desirability factors such as visas, healthcare, walkability, and other things retirees should consider. This video discusses the cost of living in Roxas City first, and then shares retirement desirability factors such as visas, healthcare, walkability, and other considerations. Okay, estimated cost to retire in Roxas City in the Philippines. Here are our estimated basic recurring costs of living converted into US dollars if the two of us move to Roxas City on a tight budget. We will also include more typical or middle range expenses that other expats might spend to give you another data point. These estimates do not include everything it would cost you to live here since we don't know your lifestyle and needs. But I'll give you a link to other optional costs that you can add that are more specific to your personal lifestyle and needs. Okay, rents. In a YouTube interview I did in Roxas City with an expat named Marion, who is from the USA, he shared that apartments rents go from around $300 US per month on up in Roxas. So I'll estimate that our rent would be $350 per month for the lower range. For the middle range expat estimate, I will use $750 per month in rent, as they may want a second bedroom or more space. Make sure to read How I Find Perfect Apartments Around the World. Utilities. Roxas City is at sea level, so we would need to run our air conditioner for much of the year. We estimate our utilities will run around $75 US per month for electricity, gas, and water. The utilities for the larger place would be about $115 per month. Groceries. Based on our time here and the money we spent on groceries, we estimate around $300 per month on groceries for the two of us. We would shop mostly in the public market where the vegetables, fruits, rice, meats are cheaper. We would cook and eat mostly at home. Middle-range expats will shop more often in expensive grocery stores, buying imported food from home, so we estimate about $400 per month for them. Restaurants. If we went out to eat twice per week, once for date night and once for lunch somewhere, plus some street food, we would spend around $55 per week or $220 per month in restaurants for the two of us. We would eat in mom and pop style restaurants when possible, but also in the expensive tourist restaurants once a week or so. Middle range expats are likely to spend more in expat style restaurants serving foreign style foods from home, so I estimate about $350 per month for them for restaurants. Cell phone data. The cost to recharge our prepaid service is about $6 per month. My Android phone will act as a hotspot so we can both be on the internet at the same time when we're out of the house together. Middle range expats are likely to pay for 2 data plans, so $12 per month for them. Laundry. We paid about $2.16 per week for drop-off and pickup, wash, dry, and fold laundry, so about $9 a month for laundry. This would be about the same for the middle range expats. Water. Reverse osmosis water in 20-liter bottle jugs delivered would be about 50 pesos per jug, so 10 jugs per month would be about $10 per month. This would be about the same for the middle range expats. Our internet would be about $36 per month. This would be about the same for middle range expats. Transportation. 𝗏𝗏 is kind of spread out, but the area we would spend most of our time is within a 15-minute walking area. But we may ride a few tricycle taxis or grab taxis to other parts of town and spend about $30 per month on transportation. Middle range expats are likely to spend more on transportation, like buy a used car or scooter, so gas and expenses would be more like $150 per month. Alcohol. San Miguel Pilsen Grande beers, which are 0.5 liters, are about 120 pesos, which is about $2.15 US each in stores, which is about 2 beers. But you'll see regular sized San Miguel Pilsen beers in bars and restaurants for about 100 Philippine pesos. We would drink mainly at home, so we estimate around 110 per month in alcohol for the two of us. The middle range expats are likely to drink more expensive and craft beers and more often in restaurants and bars, so we estimate around $250 per month for them. Entertainment, which is optional, we would budget about $200 per month for entertainment for the two of us. Okay, let's add it all up. Estimated cost to retire in Roxas City. For the lower estimate, $350 rent. These are all in US. 75 utilities, 300 groceries, 220 restaurants, 6 cell data, 9 on laundry, 10 on drinking water, 36 on internet, 30 on transportation. That comes to $1,036 per month. If we add the optional alcohol of $110, that comes to $1,146 per month. If we add $200 for entertainment, it would put us at $1,346 per month. For the middle range estimates with the higher rents, utilities, groceries, restaurants, and transportation, add up to $1,832 per month. $250 for optional alcohol would be $2,082 per month. $300 optional entertainment would bring it to $2,382 per month. We gathered this data with our feet on the ground here in May of 2025. The above lower estimate would be if the two of us lived in Roxas on a tight budget. The middle estimate is just an example of what other expats might spend if they moved here. To understand what it would cost you to live here, you must put your feet on the ground, see how you would choose to live, rent, eat, and entertain yourself, and add it all up. It doesn't matter what anyone else spends, because we are all different. You should also add anything to the table that you spend money on in your home country that's not listed in the table. Presumably, you find those things necessary. To do that, visit Numbeo for Roxas City and add anything not mentioned in the table. Never move anywhere until you've first visited personally to verify living costs for your lifestyle and needs. These are just my notes and estimates from the time of my visit, and your costs are likely to be drastically different. More typical expats living in costs in the Philippines range from about $1,200 to $3,000 per month. But people spending that much also have higher incomes or pensions. They often report spending more on entertainment, eating out, and alcohol. Many also have more expensive cars, houses, or apartments. Also, if you're going to try to retire cheap offshore, make sure to read my report, The 2 Biggest Risks of Retiring Early for Cheap Offshore. link provided, which explains why you should have emergency funds available for unexpectedly large expenses. The report also includes where we stayed, all the restaurants and markets that we shopped in, and the fun things to see and do around town. So next up, 𝗤𝐻 livability factors and retirement desirability score. Here are the factors I think about when I consider a place for early retirement potential. After I discuss each factor, I'll assign an overall retirement desirability score for 𝗤𝐻. Walkability, I would say medium. 𝗤𝐻 is fairly walkable in the central area where we stayed. The only time we took tricycle taxis was to go to the beach or to one of the larger malls halfway to the beach. And tricycle taxis are less than $1, so it was not expensive. If we lived at the beach, we would need to go to 𝗤𝐻 Central more often, so we would need to spend more on transportation or get a scooter and 2 helmets. Internet, I would say high. It's possible to get about 100 megabits per second up and down in 𝗤𝐻 for about $36 US per month. We used my smartphone as a hotspot when we needed connectivity outside the home or when the power was down. Food, I would say medium. There was a reasonable assortment of restaurants, both foreign and domestic, but this might be challenging for new expats that miss food from home. Transportation, I would say high. The tricycle taxi system is efficient and cheap, about 30 to 50 pesos per person each way to get across town. Weather, I would say medium. The hottest months in 𝗤𝐻 is generally May, with an average daily high of 32 Celsius, which is 90 Fahrenheit, and the average nightly low in May is 26 Celsius, or 79 Fahrenheit. The coldest month in 𝗤𝐻 is generally January, and an average daily high temperature of about 29 Celsius, which is 84 Fahrenheit, and a nightly average low of 24 Celsius, which is 76 Fahrenheit. The most rain falls from June through November, with October being the rainiest time. Things to do, I would say medium. This is a medium-sized town in the Philippines with about 200,000 people. There's dining, fishing, scuba swimming, boating, yoga, partying, live music, etc. Just normal life. Healthcare, I would say medium. There are a few hospitals and clinics in 𝗤𝐻 that will be able to handle everyday health problems. But for more difficult procedures or diagnosis, they may stabilize you and send you to Metro Manila or Cebu. Most generally, the best healthcare in the Philippines is in Cebu City and Metro Manila. Okay, expats, I would say medium. We saw very few expats walking around central 𝗤𝐻. This would be a great town to live in if you were more interested in integrating into the local culture than hanging out exclusively with expats. However, the 𝗤𝐻 expats are some of the most friendly and helpful expats I've encountered in the Philippines. They will help you get acquainted when you first arrive. You will see expats mostly in the beach area and the larger mall near the beach. The surefire place to meet expats in 𝗤𝐻 is the Canadian Beaver bar right on the beach. Tell them Dan and Chung said hi. Even if you do find an expat enclave, make sure to make friends with both locals and expats for a richer experience. I explained why in my report, Top 10 Mistakes International Retirees Make. Real estate. We saw new homes for sale in 𝗤𝐻 City starting for around $40K USD. You will find a booth on the ground floor of this large mall offering new homes for sale. Link provided. I never recommend buying real estate until you've lived somewhere for at least 2 to 3 years. I have a report explaining why retired expats should not buy real estate overseas for the first 2 to 3 years. Make sure to read that before deciding to buy real estate overseas. In the Philippines, you can't own land directly in your name. Some foreigners get a long-term lease on land before they build. Others take title in a corporate name, and others get married and put the property in their Filipino wife or husband's name. But do hire a local lawyer if you decide to invest in real estate. Do not use a lawyer referred to you by someone with a conflict of interest with you, such as a new local spouse, a real estate broker, or your spouse's family. Visa, I would say hi. For your exploratory visit to the Philippines, Citizens of many countries can obtain 30-day visa-free stamp upon arrival at the international airports. Plus, you can extend your tourist visa for a total of 36 months in the Philippines without bothering with a retirement visa. The monthly visa extensions cost about $38 US per month for regular or $55 per month for expedited. After 36 months, you just leave the Philippines and go to another country and then fly back to start the whole 36-month process over again. For this reason, almost nobody I've met in the Philippines bothers to get a retirement visa. These rules and costs change without notice, so verify at the time you read this. Okay, ROHA, overall retirement desirability score. I would say high. If you prefer medium-sized, quiet, safe beach towns without a large pool of other expats, then ROHA just may be the place for you. Overall,